hot on my brain.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's like, man, I gotta check that game out. So we went over to it and got a demo from the guy. I would probably compare this game to Poker Light in some
Okay.
regards. I don't love poker. I'm pretty terrible at poker. I know you like it, Bubba. I'm sure you're great at it, Drew. Um,
I'm pretty good.
yeah, I like really.
I never lost money to my friends in college. We'll put it that way.
Okay. Did you
Never
actually play for
lost.
money?
Yeah. Well, they played
No
for
comment.
Cheerios. That's why you never lost money. Yeah, several boxes of
Yeah.
Cheerios.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and they
Oreos.
stole those. So uh, this game's like Poker Light. You are trying to be the person that is most wanted. Surprise. You're moving up this track, trying to be at the top up here by the end, and if you could reach the top, you are most wanted and you win the game. So to get to the top, you're going to rob trains, rob the Pony Express,
As one does.
stagecoaches. Right. What makes this game a little bit different is on my turn, let's say I decide to rob the Pony Express. I'm not the only one who goes after the Pony Express. Everyone else can try to go after the Pony Express as well. So on the top of the card, it shows you how many cards you have to play to be able to do this. So this is a 2-card one. So you're going to go through your hand, the hand size of 6, and it's really like when I say Poker Light, you can have like pairs. Some of the locations need 3 or 4 cards. You get like 3 and 4 of a kind. High card. There's no straights, there's no flushes.
Mm-mm.
So really, like you're just trying to get the highest hand. Aces are high, with the exception of if someone plays all aces, that wins. Unless someone plays all 6s, that's the dual card. Really, it's just a really easy, simple game. Like I said, the art is probably my favorite part.
It's gorgeous.
It is, and I actually found out today that a guy by the name of Andy Barry did the art, and he also worked with DreamWorks on some stuff and Nickelodeon. So he does other stuff. What movies he did?
Did he draw the slime? Is that what he does?
Yeah, you can't say that on television.
This is more
So-
Hey Dude than anything.
Yeah,
so,
more.
yeah.
You're right. It's more.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I couldn't figure out what he did with either of those. The internet's pretty vague, but he worked with them and he does stuff. So the art's great. I think honestly, I said I'm not a poker dude and I don't really know poker that well, but I think what I wish was that there was an option for those who do like poker to be able to play those hands. Like this is not even a full deck of cards. Like
Yeah.
I think it goes down to sixes, so there's nothing below a 6. And there's I think two decks of cards in there, but nothing below a 6. I just wish there was the option to be able to play those other hand types.
Right.
I mean, this game's about bluffing. Like I can tell you, I'm going to, the Pony Express, and I'm going to go in with these two. You think I'm going to go in these 2 high aces, but I could go in there with like a single ace, and everyone's like, well, too much for my blood. I don't have an ace, so
Yeah.
really just trying to like go with that bluffing aspect of it. And I think I can do it better in this game than I can in poker. On our scale of leave it to love it, I would put this at a low like it.
Okay.
I can put. It's probably I just need to think of who I'm playing with. My kids, like they really enjoy it, and if I can get them to enjoy a game that we all can understand, and I don't have to hold their hands while we play it, like
Yeah.
I should probably love it too. But I like it. If someone wants to play it, I'll play it with them.
It's a quick play.
It
know,
was a really quick play,
We-
and I won't ruin the surprise that the demo ruined for me. Just make sure you check out all of the stuff in the box.
I do that in every
Right,
single
I do too.
game.
Does it feel like there's somewhere like, because one of the things I don't like about poker is it doesn't feel like it has any weight to it unless you're actually playing for money or Cheerios or Oreos or something. Does this feel like it has more weight to it, more like more's on the line than
A little bit. I mean, there's a whole duel mechanic. So if someone's starting to pull away in the game, instead of going to like the Pony Express or the train, you can do a duel, and you'll play a 1 or 2 card hand, like you
Yeah.
just fight off against each other. So sort of, kind of, it's still, I mean, like it's an easy play still. Like if my, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old can understand it, like it's not a ton of weight. I'm guessing if you play with older people, it probably would be a little bit different. I know when we play Monster Crunch, Bubba, and I think I played with you, Drew. Like
Bro.
that game can be like super easy and everyone can understand it. But if you're playing with adults, it can be a little bit more cutthroat. So I'm guessing that would
So
probably
cutthroat.
be the same instance here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that games like this are really what you make them.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Because really, if you think about it, to answer your question, Drew, like, is it more weighty than poker if you're not playing for anything? Like every game that we play, we're really not playing for money. Like I've never played a game of Scythe for money, but I mean, these games, like it's really how vested in the game are you, and I don't know.
And that's, I guess, what I was trying to ask. That's the better question is like, does it give you reason to sort of be engaged, like on a deeper level than, I don't know, like you really want to, that you really want to win.
I mean, I think I would probably be more involved, maybe because you're so good at poker, like you don't have to think about it. But I feel like most people, if they're going to be losing their money, like they're pretty invested.
Well, that's like, if anybody's like, hey, let's play poker, but we're not playing for money, my answer is no, thanks.
Right.
There are so many other games we could play that will do this for us, but this game is designed to be played a specific way. I think that Most Wanted uses that aspect kind of in the same way that, like, have you guys played Tiny Epic Western?
I have not. I've only played Tiny Epic Galaxy.
It has a poker element to it, and I think it's in the same vein where it's like, yeah, it gives you a slight advantage. Like if you win the poker hand here in Most Wanted, then you get to advance.
Right.
So it's like it's not like, oh, if you win, then okay, cool, big deal. But it gives you a slight advantage in the game. To me, if you start running away with it, then it becomes really hard because somebody can get like 2 or 3, maybe even 4 steps away from you, and it seems insurmountable.
Well, I will mention, if you don't win a hand, if you don't win one of those locations, even if you're not the one, if you pick like the Pony Express and you don't win, you go back down the track.
Correct.
And if you do win, even if it's not your turn, like you move up. So it's kind of like this. You have to be thoughtful about what cards you're playing.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's not an ultra punishing game, and it's also not like super rewarding either. I mean, I think it kind of falls right in the middle of that. And this game is not designed to be like this deep, brooding game. It's like play quick, have fun, go crazy with it. So, Matt, if there were one thing that you could change about Most Wanted, what would you change?
That I wish it was made for real poker players. I wish there was more hand types.
Okay.
Honestly, have a full deck would be better, or the option of having a full deck.
Yeah.
Because I just don't think it's going to hold the attention of hardcore.
Yeah. Maybe if it came with some Cheerios that you could.
There it is. Yeah.
Drew Dixon's betting Cheerios. Yeah.
Again.
But yeah,
I'll raise you 3 Fruit Loops.
Here again, we understand that this game is not geared towards a poker player. I think what Matt is trying to kind of get across here is that since it uses poker mechanics, it may make people feel or think a different thing about the game than what it actually is. So it's reality versus expectation here.
I think you'd probably get more people to buy in if it had more cards.
Yeah,
I think it adds a little bit more, like what Drew is asking, a little bit more weight to it, a little bit more to think about.
It's very thematic, though, right? So like it's a Western, and so it makes sense for it to have a poker element, because just the Texas No Limit Hold'em, really falls through on the theme here. So, I mean, we played it, Matt, and we enjoyed it. I think did you win when we played it?
Oh, I destroyed you guys.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the ones where you blazed ahead and nobody could catch you. So,
Yep.
but yeah, I mean if you're interested, I think it's a fairly cheap game. Was it like $35 or something like that? You know, it's fairly
Yes.
cheap. Kate will let you know in the comments how much that game is, but it is a quick play. If you guys want to get a hold of that and play it at your game night or at your house, that would be really cool. Okay, so moving right along, the next game is I was telling Drew I really wish that this game had a longer title. But one can dream. So this game is called what is it? Between Two City Castles.
Nope.
Castles.
Castles.
You
There's
do
a
it.
game called Between Two Cities.
There it is.
But
That's why I got it.
It's Between Two Castles of the Mad King Ludwig by Stonemaier Games.
And let's watch its
But the
video.
by Stonemaier Games is not in the title.
Not yet. Yeah.
Designers Ben Rossett and Matthew O'Malley bring you Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig. This new standalone competitive game plays up to 7 players in 45 to 60 minutes. Each player spends the game building 2 castles, but King Ludwig will only select one builder as the winner. Players draft 2 tiles each turn, placing one in the castle on their left and one in the castle on their right after discussing with their partners. Accumulating sets of 3 or 5 tiles of the same type in a castle triggers a bonus unique to that type. Each castle comes to life with people, creatures, and dozens of Easter eggs. The game features 230 tiles, 7 castle tokens, and a 4-piece custom insert from game trays. Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig will be available in October 2018.
All right, so why don't you tell us a little bit about this game, Drew?
All right, so
I'm okay.
Castles of the Mad King Ludwig plays 3 to 7 players, and what's really cool about it is that you're building castles. It's a tile placement game where you're building castles with the person on your left and the person on your right. So you're going to build 2 castles. You have 2 partners that build those castles together, and sorry, my son is like crying in the background.
No, that's old.
I think my
here.
wife's
I
on
know
it
that.
though, so it's just it threw me off.
Good. Yeah.
But,
this is a live
so-
show, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. So anyway, you have different castle types, and the cool thing, one of the cool things about it too, is that all the rules are on this card here. So basically, once you understand the basic mechanics, you can look at this card and you see everything that you need to know basically about how things are going to score. But you're going to pull from a stack of tiles. You'll get a stack of 9 tiles. They're really going to be hard to see because they're so tiny. But you'll get a stack of tiles. You'll draft 2 of them and then pass them to the person on your left. Mm-hmm. And then everybody does that. So you're going to pick 2 tiles. One is going to go in the castle on your right. One's going to go in the castle on your left. So this, like if the 3 of us were playing, Bubba and I are building a castle and Matt and I are building a castle. So I'm going to show the 2 tiles that I picked for that round to both my teammates. And then look at them and see, which tiles we want to put in which castle. And at the end of the game, the castle with the highest score is not your final score. It's your castle with the lowest score that's your final score.
Yeah. So
you really have to work with both your partners to make good castles. They both have to be good, or else you're gonna sink yourself in it essentially.
Which is what happened with you and I. Yeah.
with me and you, Bubba.
Yeah. Yeah.
One of our castles.
Yeah. We didn't end up. We had to use ours. At the end scoring because you did too well on your castle with Chris. Yep. And so you had to use your castle with me. You're welcome.
Yep. So you definitely have to think ahead. Like, in fact, if you're playing the game well, you'll sometimes go like, oh, actually, I need to take that off this we're not going to use, even though your partner wants to use a tile. No, we're not going to do that. This castle's getting too good. I need to buff this one up a little bit. So there's a lot to think about, which I like. So it's a very
interesting mechanic.
Yeah, easy to learn, but pretty deep. if you want to kind of really think about how to max your castle out.
It is a Stonemaier game, so it's very overwhelming when you're sitting down to play it for the first time.
Yeah, I think so. I think it can feel that way initially, but it's a lot simpler than something like Scythe or even Euphoria or something. Like, you can learn this a lot quicker than those. Scoring is a bit of a beast. Like, you got to get your pen and paper out, do some math, get a calculator. So I'll show you a sample scoring sheet. So there's a lot of different categories of how they score. I know you're not going to be able to see that, but you're gonna you have food rooms, and living rooms, and utility rooms, and outdoor rooms, and sleeping rooms, and corridors, and downstairs, and they all can be built different ways. And your castles are going to be pretty different too. Like, every game, your castle is going to have a totally different shape and look to it. So it's pretty great. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I think I would put it on I would give it the love it score.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree that you would give it the love it. Yeah.
Yep. That's what I was going to say.
So like it for you?
No, I was going to say, I realized you were giving your review and I butted in. I loved it too. I loved it a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah.
Yeah. It definitely was a little confusing in the beginning. The rules are all there, but you're kind of like, what? What am I doing? How am I doing this? I know I'm getting tiles here, but...
Probably because I was teaching. If Chris had been teaching, it would have been
not even.
Give yourself some credit here.
No, I mean, seriously though, because I was saying, it's a Stonemaier game, so it's going to seem overwhelming when you're starting it. That has been the experience with every single Stonemaier game that I've played, be it Wingspan, Between Two Castles, or Scythe, My Little Scythe, Euphoria, all these games that I've played that are published by them. They don't skimp on components and gameplay. You've got to, there's that, that Rhett and Link video that's going around right now of, the most complicated game ever. And, that's kind of what it feels like. But at the same time, it's like, if you'll stick it out, you'll enjoy this game for sure. And that's where it was for me on Between Two Castles, because there are, you barely even skipped over the top of it, but there are so many different types of tiles and how they relate together with the bonuses that you get and correlation of, are they above or below? And there's a cap on the top, and there can be a cap on, there's a lot going on in this game, but you're never playing it single player. You're always playing it with at least one more person co-op. So,
and so that's a good point. Like, one of the good things you can do with this game too is spread the people out who've played it before, because as you play, they're going to kind of be also helping you teach, which is a nice little mechanic that it has, I think. Also, there's the art's really great. Like, it's by the end of the game, your castle's going to look pretty cool, and they have some fun names for some of them too. Like there's dungeons, those go below ground level, and this one's called the Snake Pit, so you can build a snake pit in your in your castle. You can build a kittenry where people can go and pet kittens. There's some really
crazy cat lady.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's one of those things a lot of people won't pay attention to. One of those things a lot of people won't pay attention to, but it's fun. It just adds some fun element to the game.
Yeah. I can't tell whose house that's coming from, but it's definitely one of you guys.
Definitely not mine, that's for sure. It's crazy. My kids are seen and not heard.
Hey, Drew, Hey, Drew, tell me, if you could change one thing about this game, what would it be?
I was trying to think about that. I don't have a good answer for that, because I think it's pretty well balanced. I think I might try to. I know what I would like to change when I play it with certain people, because this is what can ruin a game for you, is if somebody's not playing that hard. If your partner is not that into it, that castle's gonna suck. One of your castles is gonna suck if someone's not. My dad was playing the other day, and he would tell he was not my partner, but he was my wife's partner for one of their castles, and he would just hand her a tile and be like, "Hey, put this wherever."
Oh, yep.
Yep. So it was he hadn't given your tile selection when you draft is really important. So if your partner's not drafting thoughtfully, that's going to mess you up. But as long as everybody's engaged, it's going to be a lot of fun. I might try to make scoring a little less complicated. I mean, you're doing a significant amount of like math and adding things up here by the time it's over. Like there's a whole like spreadsheet essentially.
Oh yeah,
but
for sure.
But yeah, that's probably what I'd change. I think if you could streamline that a little bit, it would make it slightly more accessible.
Here again, I feel like that's kind of a Stonemaier hallmark, that there are a number of things that you're going to be scoring on. So really the only way that you could do it outside of an app.
I was just going to say that.
Yep.
Have an app with a like just top down score it.
Yeah. Just QR codes.
And it should be said too, I didn't really mention this, but this is a mashup between the Castles of Mad King Ludwig by Bezier Games and Between Two Cities by Stonemaier Games.
Yep.
So it's kind of cool that those two publishers got together to put this out there. And also that they were able to take two games and mash them up, and this game's still really great.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's the sort of thing that you would expect to not be nearly as good as it is, because it's like, I mean, who's going to want to play some, like, two different games that are just, like, slapped together? But they're really not slapped together. They're really well designed and a lot of fun. So.
And it comes in a game trace case.
Yes, I should show you this. Like, so these are the special tiles, but they all come in this case. Like, it's great. And then here are the main tiles, and like when you play this, everybody gets a castle. There's these little wooden castles in there. Everyone's going to get one of those, and then also or there's going to be one between each. You have two of them. You're between two castles. But then everybody starts with a stack of these tiles, and they're all, you just put them in there in groups of 9, so it's super easy to set up. Like, you can set this game up in 5 minutes or less.
Yeah.
Which I don't think there's any other Stonemaier game you can set up that quickly.
No, sir. I had to build a box for Wingspan. So, yeah.
It's a house, birdhouse.
It was a boxy house. But yeah, so I mean, we've all played Between Two Castles, the Mad King Ludwig, and it's a good game. It really is. If you have a chance to play it, go to your friendly local game store, see if they've got a copy. That would definitely be a good decision for you to make. So moving along, we are going to talk about the next one. This is the one I want to talk about, and it is a little, it's kind of a sleeper hit, if I can say that.
I'll allow it.
This is Hotshots by Fireside Games.
So Hotshots is a press-your-luck cooperative wild firefighting game where players take on the role of a team of hotshot firefighters, each one with their own special ability. On your turn, you're going to want to move to where the fire is, and then you're going to want to roll dice to try and beat the fire. You're trying to match the symbols that are printed on the tile that you're currently fighting the fire on. The more symbols you match, the better, and you can get support from other firefighters to help you. Your rewards are going to include anything from taking off 1 to 3 flame tokens to putting down fire breaks, which can stop the fire from spreading. Also, reward tokens may come into play, which are one-time use only super advantages you get for your character. However, if you ever roll the dice and you don't get any matching symbols, you've busted, and you have to add fire to the tile that you're on. If you ever put flame tokens equal to the scorch level of that tile, it scorches, meaning it turns to charcoal and spreads additional fire. And if 8 tiles ever get scorched, the game is over immediately, players lose. Players also lose if the fire camp ever gets scorched. The only way for players to win is to put out all the flames. So to do that, you're going to want to work together. You'll also want to use these vehicle tokens, which are one-time only special benefits. Watch out for natural fire breaks and things like that, because at the end of your turn, you're going to draw 1 fire card, flip it over, and it's going to intensify the fire in a couple of different ways. It can make currently burning fires worse. It can spread new fire based on wind and all sorts of horrible things. All in all, it's a good time for 1 to 4 players that plays in about an hour, and we hope you all have a good time. That's Hotshots in a nutshell.
Okay, so that is a quick walkthrough from the developer of Hotshots, and this game, I got it at where did I get it? Barnes and Noble for like
nice.
$25, something like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, they were having it was in there like 50% off. Got to get rid of these games bin.
Oh, okay.
And it's where
Man, you looked out.
You remember Matt, where you got Tower of Madness?
Yeah.
I went directly to Barnes and Noble after you said that, and this was what was in the bin. And I'd
You
seen
got
it
it,
some
though.
other places, and I was like, oh, it looks kind of cool. It's one of those things where I want to play a different game. I don't want to play a game that's the same all the time. And that was this game. And so Hot Shots is a game where you guys just saw where you are cooperatively, no matter how many people you play with, 2 or 4 or whatever, you are cooperatively putting out fires. Chris put in the comments here, oh, so it's like Pandemic fire. Yes, that's almost exactly what it is. The difference is that you have these tiles, right? So these are your starting spaces. This is what your game board looks like. So that's the lake.
No fire, bro.
No fire on the lake, obviously, because it's made of water, and that's just not how it works. This is, one of your sites here. Gives you a special ability. This is another one. Like, there are a bunch of these different hexagons here, and what you do is you just place them down on the map, and they are your map. And the rulebook has a bunch of different setups that you can do. You can do it random, or you can lay them out in what they call like Yosemite or their national parks and stuff like that. And then you take and you start placing your fire where it says the starting spots. And I had one here. So this one here, you can see it has a 5 on it and then a little dot right there in the corner. That dot underneath it says that it is a starting tile, and then you have to put I forget how many on there. You don't put a full 5 on there, but you put a number of these dudes. And Drew was talking about how cool these were. I don't think you really fully understand how cool they are until you see them. So they're hollow on the inside, which makes them translucent.
Oh, that's cool.
So you can kind of see there how the light catches. If nothing else, like, these are just freaking dope. Like, I love these things. Mm-hmm. But the way that you play is you can move up to 2 spaces, and then you fight fire. And you roll dice, and each space, if it has fire on it, each space has, at the bottom there, those are the things that you need to roll in order to put out fire. And depending on how many dice of the 6 dice that you actually get to keep, that's what happens to the fire. And you can get all the way up from, the fire pretty much exploding to, you can take away 3 of the flames and get a special token and put down a fire blocker. So this is a game that there is no real downtime in it. You're always rolling. You're always rolling, you're always moving, you're always doing something. They also have vehicles in the game. So the vehicles will allow you to, put out fire in a line, or drop a bucket over one flame, or you can drive looks like a zombie vehicle, but it's to dig trenches, and so you can put fire blockers in 3 different places. It's just a really cool game with. Obviously, it's co-op, so that's huge for me and my wife and just my family in general. When we're not trying to grind each other into a fine powder, we can play together, and it allows us to kind of work on how each of us table captain at some points. Mm-hmm. I think we all have that alpha gamer in us somewhere, and games like this really push me to not do that so much. So if she'll say, hey, where do you think I should go? Do you think I should go to this one that's about to basically outbreak, if you're familiar with Pandemic? Or should I go over here and try to get one of the dice back that we lost? We can kind of decide that as a team, like what would be the best for our scenario. Games played fairly quick. I think it comes down to the roll of the dice, honestly. Anytime you play a dice game, you add a little bit of chaos and chance into it. And our game played pretty quick. I think we played in about 45 minutes, maybe a little bit north of 45.
With how many people?
Just my wife and I.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Cool.
like each player, there are 4 different characters, and each one has a special ability. I played the Swamper, which is a guy. He's the one that can. He's supposed to be like digging trenches and stuff like that, but he can take and turn spades into rakes or rakes into spades. And Anna was the Sawyer, and what he does is he turns axes into chainsaws or chainsaws into axes, and vice versa. And the reason that's important is because of the push your luck mechanic. I don't feel like I have enough push your luck games, and I did not know that this was one of them. But you roll until you don't match a die on the space that you're on. And even if you have matched up until that point, if you roll and you don't match, then you fail.
You lose everything. Oh man.
So it's kind of like we have King's Gold and Zombie Dice, and maybe you guys have played Farkle or Pig Out or stuff like that. Those are the kind of games that this is, but it adds so much more to the gameplay with special abilities and randomized maps, and you're actually going for specific things. You're not just trying to roll whatever you want. Another cool aspect about this game is the wind change. So it's hexagon based, right? You've got these different all these different sides, and each one of these sides is a direction that the wind can blow. So if I have a fire here and I have another tile over here and the wind is blowing that direction, then it's going to spread the fire to that tile.
Oh.
Okay.
That's where the fire breaks and all that stuff come. And they have like
That's cool.
low gust and high gusts. So like on a low gust, this fire would not spread to that. But on a high gust, it'll actually jump it and go over it. So I don't know. It's a really interesting. I found myself the whole game going, this is brilliant. Like this is so cool.
I'm kind of a sucker for games that do a good job of like incorporating like kind of real world elements into their theme. Like this is a game about fighting fires, and they really put some thought into like the wind gusts and trenches and all those kinds of things that really are a part of wildlife, fighting wildfires.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and honestly, coming off of the heels of multiple years of the California fires and all the stuff that's gone on in Montana and all this stuff, like in recent history, like this is an interesting concept because it's not just, okay, this is another space race adventure game. It's like these are like real world things that are happening. So we use tabletop gaming and video games and stuff like that as a sense of escapism, but at the same time, it can still be grounded in reality and us still have fun. And then at the end of it, hopefully appreciate our servicemen and women who go out there and do this stuff. Because, obviously it's a lot harder than a video game or a board game to go out there and fight fires. But I found myself going, dang, this is getting hard. Like we would have it down to one space where the fire was, and we would either fail a roll or the wind would pick up or something like that, and then it just spreads it. So you can kind of think about like if you were in a real life situation where you had it ready, like it was cornered, and then it just a propane tank blew up or something, which is what can happen in the game.
Yeah.
It's really interesting, and I love it. And it is a game that will get plenty of use. If you guys are following me on Instagram or Twitter, you're going to see that game come up multiple times this year in the Bubba Plays a Game a Day challenge. But it's good for me. Obviously, I don't know if you guys have figured it out, but this is a love it for me. This is an easy love it. And I hadn't even played the game until 2 days ago. So this is not a paid sponsorship or anything. I just think that, you're exactly right. Fireside Games, you guys did a fantastic job on this game, and just much applause and adoration for what you guys have done. And I can't wait to see something else like that in another game, whether they do it or somebody else does it. I love that. I love everything about that game.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's the kind of co-op game I think I could get really into, because I like that you're always, sounds like you're always doing something, which co-op games can get bogged down if there's too much time between you actually doing something of value for the team,
Oh yeah.
And that push your luck mechanic is nice too, because then you're not just like sometimes in Pandemic, if you're not if your skill isn't particularly handy, at the time, like there's a long time before you really feel like you're helping the team that much.
Oh yeah.
But with that push your luck mechanic, you can always be pushing to try to do something, it sounds like.
Well, and I think it also rewards you for playing co-op. So like you can go off on your own and do whatever. I'm gonna go fight this fire over here, you fight that fire over there. But if you're on the same space as somebody, you actually get a free reroll if you fail. So it's encouraging you to fight fires together, and also is saying, hey, it's not going to be as bad because you're doing something together. Like you're in this together. So if I failed a roll and I was trying to get all hoses, which hoses for some reason they're like the sixes of this game, they're just impossible to get. There are multiple times where like we would be. Anna and I, we kind of contained the fire to the north where the lake was, because if you are adjacent to the lake, there are pluses on each one of those sides. You actually get +1 support, which that's what it's called when you get to reroll a fail. So if her and I were on the same space that was adjacent to the lake, you actually get 2 rerolls if you want to, but you can stop at any time, obviously. So I don't know. I really like this game. But there is something I would change about it. All that being said, I would like to see more characters, honestly. I thought that the ones that are in the box are great. I think it's time for an expansion. Honestly, I do.
Part 2.
Yeah, Hotshots Part 2. That's the joke that Matt has been wanting to make all evening. So,
thanks for setting me up.
Yeah, I got you, fam. But I would add more characters, and I don't know what that would look like, because I don't know a whole lot about the firefighting space and what they actually do when they're fighting forest fires versus like a fire down the street. But I would like to see more characters. So
is there a plane mechanic?
There is a plane mechanic.
Okay.
Yep. So that's one of the 3 vehicles. There's a plane, there's a helicopter, and there is a plowing truck.
Trench digger.
That's it. The grave digger. And that's a monster truck.
Yeah,
you're in Kentucky. You know what a monster truck is. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a great game. And I think that if you're into co-op games, or even if you're not, like it's super cool. And these are awesome. They're plastic. They're not cheap at all. There's texture on them where there doesn't need to be texture, just so you see the flames. So
yeah, those could have been cardboard easy.
They really could have been cardboard coins that you just dropped on, but
yep.
They went with
That's
this.
Great. Above and beyond.
Above and beyond, as it were. So just to catch everybody up, we did 3 games. We did Most Wanted by North Star Games, and we also did Between Two Castles of the Mad King Ludwig by Stonemaier Games, and last but not least, Hot Shots by Fireside Games. And all of those, if you're on Facebook right now, are up in the title of this video. So just go ahead and go up there. You can click. Make sure you're following and liking these publishers and developers, because it's hard work for them to put out games. That's why we do what we do. We're not necessarily here to say, we really want to rip these games to shreds. We want to put games in front of you guys that you may not know about. We want to help you understand some of the mechanics behind these games. And yeah, we do rate them, but it's really just us rating them based on personal preference. We may rate a game not as high as you would, that you love, and we just kind of like, all right, that's fine. We just hope that you would get involved in the hobby and play more games. Because if you're playing games with people, you're building relationships, and that's really what we want you to do. Yep. So, Matt, final word.
For 15 years, you have been confined below. The outside world beckons your teenage minds. That world can never be ours. Oh, not even pizza? Pizza's okay. Oh, man. You got a heart attack.
Well, you kind of jumped ahead a little bit, didn't you?
I did. I kind of forgot where I was at before.
Yeah.
So.
Skipped a scene or two. That was Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, just in case you didn't know. Matt knows that obviously by heart.
Backwards and front.
Yeah. But guys, we are going to catch you next week. Don't forget, we got another episode of Beard Bros every single Friday at about 5-ish Eastern time.
Hey, we were on time today.
Yeah, we were within 2 minutes. That's not bad.
Good.
Yeah, it's a lot better than our 45 that we've been doing before. But guys, go ahead and follow us on all the social media. We are at Love Thy Nerd on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We would love for you guys to come hang out with us. And also, please join our Facebook community. Maybe you don't do Facebook. That's fine. A lot of us don't necessarily do Facebook, but we're there because we want to be where the people are. We have this Little Mermaid complex, more commonly known as FOMO, and we want to be where you guys are. And we have created a space called the Love Thy Nerd community where you can get together with people and talk about all kinds of nerdy things. And we would love to have you there if you're not already. Just go on Facebook and search Love Thy Nerd community, and we will let you in. We have a small process to get you in there. It's just so we know that you're not a robot, and you can get in there and talk with all kinds of wonderful nerds and geeks and all sorts of stuff. But once again, I'm Bubba Stallcup.
I'm Matt Warmbier.
I'm Drew Dixon.
And we will catch you guys next week. And remember, if nobody tells you this, I promise you that it's true, that Jesus loves you, nerds.
Boy.
Ooh-wee. Okay, so this is kind of our show after the show kind of deal. These kind of things will not be posted on YouTube for those of you guys that are still hanging around or might be first timers. But we just kind of want to catch up a little bit and talk a little bit about some of the other things that are going on in our life or in the gaming world in general. So Matt, you were saying that you're sick, like your whole family is on the brink. Like one foot in.
Okay. Yeah. Pretty much some of us are very sick and some are on their way to it, I think. Hopefully not. But yeah, just not feeling great. I took a little daytime medicine stuff before this to power on through.
Like the good stuff or like.
It's orange. Is that good?
It tastes good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, was it orange flavored? I don't know.
Was it just the color, not the flavor? Yeah.
Yeah, it probably was orange.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that my eldest fever is gone. At least it was this afternoon. We'll see. Someone's coming in. Oh, Aaron's coming in.
Hey, the one healthy person. What about you, Drew? Like, how's your family faring, man?
We're doing pretty good. This guy was crying the last half of the show.
I don't have a baby to hold.
so, where's your baby? Yeah, grab a baby. That would have been amazing if you just had some babies back there and you just grabbed one.
Yeah, I just don't. I'm gonna hold this trash can. It looks like I'm gonna vomit.
No, we're doing good. Thankfully, there's a lot of sickness around here. Thankfully, none of us are sick. Because we got a Disney vacation coming up.
You better lock it down, bro.
About a week from today. A week from today, we'll be, we'll be packing. A week from tomorrow, we'll be on our way to Orlando.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Packing is something to celebrate, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. My in-laws are great. They're kind of helping us make this happen because Disney is super freaking expensive. So, really thankful for shout out to the Miller family.
Hey, man. The mouse. Mick Mouse, he needs his money, man.
Yeah.
He's got kids to feed, too.
Yeah, apparently. So, yeah, but good, man.
Yeah, my whole family is on the brink as well. Anna came down with it today.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Well, actually, kind of last night. She was like, she texted me and said, I'm not feeling so well. And I was like, oh, that's not good. That's not good. You don't want me to get sick because I get the man cold. Like if I'm even remotely gonna be sick, I'm wimpy, I'm puny, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to help. I just spoon feed me chicken noodle soup and just put a bag of Gatorade by the bed and I'm good to go. But I've been playing a ton of games. You guys been playing any games lately? Matt's not listening. Drew, you been playing games?
We played over this last weekend. We played Obsession, the game that I brought to PAX South,
that we didn't get to play.
And we never played.
Sorry.
So, it's basically like Downton Abbey / what's it? What's the Mr. Darcy
Marrying
book?
Mr.
I'm thinking of the book that's
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
It's like a mix between Pride and Prejudice and Downton Abbey. You're trying to be like the head of the greatest estate in Britain and court the Fairchild family, and it's pretty great. It's a mixture of like tile placement, or not tile placement, but deck building and worker placement. Sorry, worker placement and deck building.
It's got a lot of fancy game elements. I got you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mechanics
yeah.
and whatnot.
Bunch of words in it that you would use that people who play a lot
That
of
means
board
something
games
to somebody.
would
Yeah,
mean
they're very
something
important.
to them. But I like that it's really well themed. That's probably the best part of it. It's like my neighbors came over, and when we were playing it, we were all kind of like pretending to be British aristocracy types, which made it even more
Did you have
fun.
a little Dinosaur Island flashback while you were, or not
Yeah,
Dinosaur
just a
Island,
little-
Dinosaur Tea Party flashback?
Dinosaur
while you
Tea
were
Party.
playing?
Yeah. yeah. So my neighbors just kind of initiated that. I was like, oh man, they're really getting into this. So,
You didn't say, hey guys, this is America. You know, if you
yeah.
Please quit
live
it.
in the
Come
land,
on.
learn the language. You know,
Oh, and playing a ton of Dead Cells. If you haven't played Dead Cells, that game's great.
I have not. I want to so bad. I've had a hard time because like I'm not sure, like, does it live up to the hype, or was the hype just because of the whole Philip Mewson thing?
Oh yeah, no, I think it does. Yeah, and people loved it before that whole thing because Philip Mewson's thing was when it came out for Switch.
Right.
And so people loved it when it was in early access for a long time, and people were big on it then. I think it lives up to it. Did you ever play Rogue Legacy?
I did not.
Okay.
No.
I was gonna say, like, basically the way it plays is like if somebody took Rogue Legacy and made it like a lot better.
It's real fast, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mean like the action?
Mhm.
Yeah. It's fast, but there's so many cool tools you can get once you kind of like level up a little bit, or like buy upgrades and things that you don't have to play that way. Like you can play a little bit more methodically if you want.
yeah.
But like getting a super deep run into it is pretty satisfying.
Well, that's cool, man.
Yeah.
It's on my list. It really is. I talked about this on Free Play, or did I? I don't remember. I talk a lot on
talked
a lot
about
of
it to
different
somebody.
shows. I bought from PAX. I bought Just Shapes and Beats. And
Oh yeah, that's great.
Also, I bought Zarvat. So I got both of those after playing them at PAX.
Oh nice.
And I want to play them so bad, but I found that I don't have the number of people that those games require in order to play.
Right.
That.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I
We'll
did
see.
get the Just Beats and Shapes demo and
Okay.
played with the kids, and they liked it. I do.
Is
want
it
the
is it
full-
exactly what we played? It's 3 levels and a boss and
It is a little different.
okay. The full game of Just Shapes and Beats. I played it single player. Is weird. It ends. Well, it ends, but it doesn't end. Like it continues on after it's done. It's just weird the way that it flows. But that whole game is just weird. I think it's
Just shapes.
designed.
No, it's just Shapes and Beats.
Oh, it's
actually
just
what it is.
yeah.
That's all it is. So
It just don't say anything else.
I don't know,
it's
man.
great. It's a great party game, but
It really is.
that's definitely the environment for it, is to like have people around, like swap controllers, like get a
It does. It has
fun
it
to-
has a single player element to it though, and that's kind of what I'm trying to push myself through. Like I hope it's gonna quote unquote make me better, but I don't think that's how that game works.
Oh,
you know.
you gonna go pro? Just go pro, man.
Is that all y'all are playing? Shapes and Beats and Zarbat?
Well, not even playing it. Like I have those downloaded.
Yeah.
Did you beat Spider-Man yet?
No, dude. So
Would
here's
you
here's my
get
here's
out?
my backlog. Let me tell you about my video game backlog. I've got Spider-Man that I need to finish. I've got God of War that I need to start. I've got Red Dead Redemption 2 that I have to start. And like an idiot, I bought Kingdom Hearts. Pfft, why? Nobody knows. Because I don't have freaking time to play all this stuff.
Yeah. Did
Intentionally.
you play any of the original Kingdom Hearts games?
I did. I played about half of one and like one world of two, and I liked it. I just when they came out, my brain was not in that mode. I didn't fully appreciate them. I think Kingdom Hearts 1 came out when I was in like high school or something like that.
Yeah.
And I remember
Yeah, I
we reviewed it for
remember
a
when
school
it came
paper.
out, I was like, why are they screwing Final Fantasy up with Disney characters?
Well, I
It'll never
loved it.
work. Get this crap out of here.
Yeah.
But no, it's such
I
an
don't feel it
interesting
now,
concept that works. And now we've been waiting 15 years for Kingdom Hearts 3 to come out. And of course, it's nothing like was teased at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2. But it's just one of those things where I want to play all of the games, and so I get all the games. Celeste was free to download on Xbox last month, and I downloaded it, and I was like, very excited. And the moment the moment I had time to play any video games at all, I went and played WWE 2K19, which is my jam. So like that's my go-to game if I'm playing anything. But I have all of these other games that I need to get to, and plus I'm trying to obviously play the one board game a day, which I mean, if you think about it, man, like that it takes time. If you don't know the game, you gotta learn it.
Yeah.
And like if Scythe is your one game for the day, like you're
The 2 hour
toast.
commitment.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a whole lot of games. This is my bad. I don't have a whole lot of games on my shelf that are quick plays, quick single player experiences. So
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I think you just need to finish Spider-Man. Start somewhere, okay? How much do you have left?
all of it.
No, you do not.
I will tell you the last thing I did. I thought I was pretty far, and I told somebody, and they're like, "Oh, sweetheart." I just fought Mr. Negative on the train. Redacted.
Oh no, you're getting closer. You're not that
Well,
far
yeah,
off.
I'm closer than I've ever been, obviously. but
Oh, I think you're doing all right. Like that's not too far away.
I have a lot of the suits unlocked.
Yeah, I think here's
If
the thing.
that's a
Tell Anna not to be sick tomorrow,
okay, on it.
and just
She's probably watching.
hi-
Yeah.
hide your phone in your room, and you just play that. Like, just keep your phone away. That's my problem. Like I'll have my phone nearby. I'm like, oh, another message. Oh, pause.
I actually have to be up here tomorrow just about all day doing a men's conference. So
So you can play in the sound booth.
There you go.
don't tease me, bro.
Because
Don't.
you can
Bring
do
your
the
Switch.
PlayStation. What is that? You can like connect to your PlayStation through your computer.
So
Yeah,
here's
you can.
here's the deal. I may or may not have purchased Kingdom Hearts on the Xbox.
Ooh, mistake.
Well, I said finish Spider-Man, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you're right. I know. But I don't know. I mean, I've got to go home and play a game today, and I don't know what I'm going to play. I want to play Grimslingers because that has a solo aspect to it. It's kind of a dexploration kind of game. I don't know. We'll see. I've got a bunch of games on my shelf.
luck.
Scythe
luck.
has an Automa,
Sidekick, too.
solo way to play that. That'll be coming at some point. But
Yeah.
any of you guys that are still watching, if you have a game that you think I should play, please let me know. I may or may not have it, but I gotta play about 365 games at least this year.
You're close.
Yeah.
Well,
You're
so
real
does
close.
Matt though. So does Matt. That's what he hasn't been telling people. But you've got a 365 game
Yeah, I'm
challenge
doing
too.
fine.
You're
I'm
just
doing
not
fine.
playing one a day. That's your thing.
Because I think I knew one a day would be real rough for me. And
Yeah.
I'm at 36 plays this year. I feel
How
pretty
many
good.
of those are repeats though? Let's be real.
Like, you're trying to play different games.
Yes,
every day?
I'm
I played
I'm trying. That's not gonna work. But I'm
36
trying.
plays, 26
you-
games.
You're not gonna. There's no way. You're gonna do 365 different games.
There's a way. There's most certainly a way.
There is a way. You're
Yeah.
There
right.
is a way.
Well,
It's called aneurysm.
Yeah, it's called broke.
Yeah.
Beans and rice.
Yeah,
It's the beans and rice challenge.
make sure you save all those receipts for taxes, okay?
I got you, fam. All right, Thatcher. I can take a hint. Okay.
We got it.
I'll give you your
Oh,
daddy
it's
back.
Bedtime.
Well, hey guys, thanks for hanging out with us a little bit afterwards. We just kind of do this because we like hanging out and talking to each other, and we rarely get to do that like this. So, you guys get to be on this call with us, and we hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. And if you are caught in the polar vortex, I hope that you get out soon.
Enjoy it.
Man, we had somebody. There was a funeral here today that the family was coming from Chicago, and they could not get a flight out of Chicago yesterday. 150
Yikes.
some odd flights canceled out of Chicago,
Yikes.
so they drove. Whoop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, from Chicago.
Yes.
But hey, we love you guys, and we're praying for you if you're caught in the polar vortex. And like I said, we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Peace.
Okay, we did it.